What is up with so many people having children, and as soon as they had these kids, or before these kids is even walking, really, they breaking up?
My dumb did that stupid shit. And you know what? It was a huge mistake. At that time, I was very, very masculine, right? My husband, he's my husband now. He's the father of my two kids. But when we first had our first son, I did it and I broke up with him as soon as we had our son. Our son was maybe like 2 weeks old. I did it because the reality is I was filled with so much trauma and I did not value a two-parent household because I never came from one. So I didn't care about it. I felt like the kid would be okay. Like he cool. He don't need no father. I'm the mother and the father.
Damn. I think we're also about to witness a very rare W of a woman here taking accountability.
Being extra as hell, right? I was prepared to do everything on my own. And once you have that baby, not to mention that was both of our first babies together. So I had no idea what postpartum was. He had no idea how to deal with a woman that was going through postpartum, that was emotionally unstable and all over the place. So he just kind of was like, he was done with it. He didn't understand how to deal with it. I didn't understand what the was going through. And I threw in a towel, not him. I threw in a towel. And I actually took his son away from him, talking about, I'm about to do all of this on my own, looking stupid as hell. And he was a good father. He is a good father. He was a good man. That's a good man, Savannah. He's a damn good father, damn good provider. And he wasn't going for that. He was not going for that, y'all. He told me straight up, you're not taking my son away from me. If I got to fight you tooth and nails in the court, I don't give a damn. I will show up he wasn't like no deadbeat. I don't give a fuck about that baby. Fuck who in there. It wasn't like, and the only one that called me out on my bullshit was my sister. She was like, you making a huge mistake doing that.
Wow.
He don't deserve that. That baby don't deserve that. Hell, you don't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? She was the only one that told me, sis, go back and figure it. And with time, you learn each other. You mature. You understand the importance of respect. You understand the importance of love and bringing a child up in a healthy two-parent house. And last but not least, you might not be compatible. You realize you're not compatible for him, or he might not be compatible for you. And then you both come up with the same lame excuse. Oh, he switched up. She switched up. No, you just didn't take the time out to really get a chance to know each other. You know what I'm saying? So y'all rolled around in the sack, created a life, and don't give a about it. Neither one of y'all don't really give a about it. Now you just bashing each other all over the place, bashing each other on the internet. It's just so immature. So that's my take on it. That's my 2 cents.
Wow. I'm glad she shared that. Mind you, remember, she's answering the question, why are so many people breaking up after they have kids? And she plain out said, I had a good man. He was not a deadbeat. This is a guy who wanted to be involved. And for whatever reason, I'm sure if she looks back, it was some petty fight. She couldn't get her way. And luckily for her, she had somebody in her life that was willing to serve her some coffee. And she was willing, congratulations to her, we got to give her props. She was willing to be accountable. It's never easy. We all have to do it. You have to do it if you're willing to have a relationship with someone else, because you're not perfect. You're going to make mistakes, me included, anybody who's out here. And I think this right here is something that happens more often than not. She got a few comments here, see what people have to say. This top commenter says, appreciate the honesty and accountability. More life to y'all. Somebody else here added, a lot of women don't have a sister like yours. Yeah. Having people in your life who can call you out on your bullshit is very, very much a powerful thing. You need people who can see things from a different perspective around you, because you don't have all the answers, right? And too many people want to live life the way they want to do it, don't want to be told anything at all, don't want to be given any type of guidance. And we all need somebody who can step in. I've had my wife many times, right? She will recognize blind spots and she will help me. That's one of the reasons I appreciate her and respect her opinion and her perspective on life in many, many ways. Somebody else here says it's programming. Another person here added accountability is amazing. Here's somebody else who says, and some accountability. Thank you. Somebody else here added, Lord, some accountability. Thank you, sis. Here's somebody else who responded back and says, yes, accountability, yes. Sis, please teach these sisters how to be accountable. Teach these sisters, please. Somebody else here says, on my own, me and child support. So he's going through it. Somebody else who says postpartum is real. Postpartum is a real thing. Somebody else who says, appreciate you sharing your experience. And the final comment we read here says, I really appreciate your accountability. You got to think of just that one decision for her to go back to the father of her children and work things out, change the trajectory of their child's life. You know, I'm also curious to see what other people had to say about this particular situation. Let's see. I think I found somebody.
Why do couples break up after the baby? How is it that two people that liked and loved each other enough to the point where they were willing to have a child together all of a sudden fall out of love or grow apart once the baby comes? To me, there's a multitude of reasons why people can break up after the baby comes, but there's two main ones that stand out to me. The first reason, I've seen another lady speak on this already, is postpartum depression. Postpartum depression is a monster. And that girl that you fell in love with, that you decided to have children with, she's not going to be there for a minute. The only way you make it through that is just by being supportive to your wife, doing whatever she needs you to do. She's going through something that she can't even explain. So many changes, she doesn't even recognize herself. She's not being lazy. She's literally fighting for her sanity in her life during that moment. So you really just have to be supportive as the husband or the boyfriend. But what happens is a lot of men are just selfish. They're not trying to understand what's going on with her. They're not being supportive. They're only concerned about their needs that aren't being met. So what do? They go out and cheat. And that's the beginning of the end of that relationship. The other way is just as common, and people don't even realize what's happening until it's too late. And that's just simply getting caught up in the rat race of life. Once you have children, your children become the center of your lives and everything revolves around them. And what happens in a lot of cases is you simply just forget about your partner. You don't spend any time with them. A lot of adults spend more time outside of their home with other people than they do with their own families. Most parents have a similar routine if they're working parents. You get up in the morning, you get ready for work, get the kids ready for school. Y'all go off to work in school. You come home, you do whatever you have to do for the kids in the home. And then by the time all of that is done, it's time for bed. If you're not prioritizing at some point during that day time to spend with your partner, your spouse, your husband or wife, eventually the two of you will grow apart.
Something that I've been waiting to hear, and the other lady proved this point, is when people talk about this, I rarely hear marriage. And I bet you if you're to take a case study of the couples who just have kids together, but they don't actually get married, because I believe children deserve both parents in the home, right? If you're gonna be out here creating life, and there's actually studies. I actually showed a video about this that shows that it is different when you commit in a marriage with a child than just being in that household. I bet you that earlier commitment, planning ahead, doesn't always happen this way. I understand. But being intentional about that as a possibility isn't really spoken about much. As always, guys, I'm curious to know what you think.